Hello and welcome to another episode of Dafuq Did I Just Watch? With your host as always, Kyle McLemore. This week we'll be recapping and reviewing what could possibly be the last appearance of La Bobaega. That's right, henchmen beware, it's John Wick, Chapter 4. Now before we get too far along in the review, make sure you slap that like and subscribe button. It's greatly appreciated and it helps the show stay alive. And if you haven't seen John Wick Chapter 4 and would still like to, make sure you pause now and return later, as there may be several spoilers up ahead. That's right, this is your official spoiler alert. Chapter 4 picks up almost immediately after the previous film, and we have the return of some old familiar faces. The main, of course, being Keanu Reeves, picking up the mantle as John Wick once more, and for the final time, possibly. We also have the return of other familiar faces from the franchise. Laurence Fishburne returns as the Bowery Caine, as well as McShane returning as our hotel manager Winston. And on a bit of a down note, there was the unfortunate passing of the great Lance Reddick, who passed away before the release of this film. And although this was Lance Reddick's final role, it was good to see him come back for the final chapter. There is a moment in the film where it's almost like prophetic. It's almost as if he's speaking to the audience like directly when he says, "It's been an honor, my friend." And I feel like I can speak for us all when I say, the honor was all ours, Lance Reddick. Rest in peace forever. Chapter 4 continues to expand the John Wick universe. It introduces us to a few new characters. You might recognize Clancy Brown. That's right, it's the voice of Mr. Krabs. He was also in the original Highlander. He's also in a ton of other stuff. Shawshank. Clancy Brown is the man. Not a huge role in this movie, but I mean, just his voice, just him being all gravelly and badass is more than anybody could ask for. Also jumping into the John Wick universe, it's Hiroyuki Sanada. Most recently just appeared in Bullet Train, but he's an amazing actor, an amazing samurai swordplay, and it's great to see him fighting in this movie. Bill Skarsgård, aka Pennywise the Clown, also jumping into the John Wick pool. He is our main adversary, kind of our direct villain in this new chapter, and he has been given almost absolute power by the table under the one condition that he killed John Wick. And last but certainly not least of the newcomers is the great Donnie Yen, who has the insanely difficult task of being the John Wick rival in this new chapter. Donnie Yen gives an amazing performance in this film. I was a bit completely taken off guard. I don't know if maybe I'm the only one, maybe I'm a complete moron, but all the previews and all the trailers, I thought he was just being a badass, always wearing the sunglasses. Turns out, he's blind in this film. And this is not Donnie Yen's first time being a blind martial artist. He most noticeably recognized from the movie Ip Man, but maybe you remember him from Road One when he was also a force-sensitive blind martial artist. So interesting, but also kind of weird to have it on your resume that you've played multiple blind martial artists. Cool, but also kind of coincidental. And Donnie Yen's performance is amazing, since not only is he an unbelievable martial artist, but he's also doing unbelievable martial arts while also touching and feeling and pretending to be a blind guy. It's great fun watching him perform and kick everyone's ass, and then also tap, 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 tap. Okay, let's go this way. Kick everyone's ass. Tap, 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 tap. It's really fun to watch him perform. Also new to the franchise, but no stranger to all these martial art movies, is Scott Adkins, who actually kind of low-key gives my favorite performance of the whole film. Scott Adkins, super well known if you're into any of those lower budget kind of crazy martial arts movies. The Undisputed films is probably his biggest franchise. And the dude gives a amazing performance. Just his acting alone would have been totally enough. He gives a great bad guy performance. He's in this really big bodysuit. It's really fun to watch. And then he takes it up another notch by surprising the hell out of me. I thought it was just going to be him just giving an acting performance. But this dude is like getting physical as hell, and it is so entertaining to watch. It was honestly a huge highlight for me. Coming in with a runtime just under 3 hours, this is the longest John Wick movie to date, and although this is the longest chapter in the John Wick franchise, director Chad Stahelski does a really great job at finding interesting and unique ways to keep our attention. Whether that be with the introduction of new, interesting, badass characters, or new, interesting, cool places to fight. Yes, there is the classic fighting in the dance club scene, but there's also this cool kind of like we're fighting in the streets of Paris in this big old roundabout with like cars flying all over the place. And there's also the introduction of these new incendiary rounds. It's like these shotgun shells filled with phosphorus, so not only do we get unique, interesting locations, there's also unique, interesting camera shots. There's a really good shot of like, it's reminiscent of Tarantino from Inglourious Bastards when the camera is above the structure of the building, so the camera moves and you can see the frames and walls of the building, and it's very interesting perspective. That combined with the phosphorus shotgun shells, which are like basically a fireworks show every time this like shotgun goes off. So you have the combination of unique cinematography mixed with unique visual action, so it's like a real feast for the eyes. Not only all of that, but John Wick Chapter 4 also has a unbelievable reference to the 1979 film The Warriors. They do it almost exactly like The Warriors, dude. When she got on the radio DJ, and she's talking to all the henchmen in the city, dude, she goes, "Hey, all you boppers." Dude, when she said boppers, I got the chills, dude. She did it just like The Warriors. "Hey, all you boppers out there." And then, as if that wasn't enough, I was like, no way. She goes, "Hey, this one goes out to you, John Wick." And I was like, no way, they're not going to do it. It would be too much. And then she fucking flips the record and plays "Nowhere to Run to, Nowhere to Hide." I was like, oh, get out of it. It's the song from The Warriors. This is the greatest. If there's one thing I could point to in this film that maybe I didn't like, or maybe it wasn't really gelling with me as much, is maybe Bill Skarsgård as our main villain. Bill Skarsgård is, of course, great. He's a really phenomenal actor, but in this particular film, I don't know, I just wasn't really digging it as much as his other performances. He's like a French dude, and like the whole movie, he's just being like, I don't know, menacingly French. Like, he doesn't physically do much. I think there's like one part where he like stabs a dude in the hand, but other than that, he's just like getting mad at people and just like talking on the phone and just like, "You need to kill him now, do it, I am the one in charge, don't you understand?" Click. Just as a whole, just never really comes off as like menacing or like dangerous. He's just like, I don't know, the guy with all the money, so he's just like hiring everybody and just like getting mad on the phone a lot. Like anytime he's like showing anger, he's just like, "Oh, you increased the price? No. It's just like, this, I don't know. It doesn't feel like an ultimate final chapter villain, if that makes sense. If there is one tiny itty bitty little thing that I can criticize, it's that maybe he's a little bit too fucking indestructible. Maybe they made him a little too, like, part Kryptonian or something. Like, he's borderline Superman in this film. He falls out of a building, like a 5-story building, like twice, and just gets up and walks away. He rolls down 1,000,000 stairs, dude. He rolls down stairs for like a solid 5 minutes of just him rolling down these stairs, and these are like ancient European stone steps, dude. His entire body would be shattered into pieces. But it's like, yeah, he's John Wick, so we'll let it slide, I guess. Overall, we're gonna have to probably hit John Wick Chapter 4 with a A-. That's right, this is a nearly perfect John Wick movie. Maybe just a tiny bit too long, maybe just a tiny bit too indestructible. But as a whole, the movie is nearly a perfect action movie. It's nearly the perfect John Wick movie. There's really great action, there's really great characters, really interesting character development, really great cinematography. It takes all the stuff you love about John Wick and somehow cranks it up another notch. And for a little pro tip for everybody out there, make sure you stay after the credits for that little after credit treat. If you felt differently about John Wick Chapter 4, make sure you comment down below. And if you haven't already, hit that like and subscribe button, as it's much appreciated and it helps the show stay alive. I am your host as always, Kyle McLemore, and we'll see you next time at the movies.